At 11:52 on a Friday night, my husband sent me 9 words that ended 6 years of marriage. We're not coming back. You were always too easy to fool. Attached was a photo of him and my best friend Priya on a private balcony in Miami. Her fingers curled around a champagne flute, wearing the gold earrings I'd given her last Christmas. Behind them, the Atlantic glittered under the lights like it had no idea my life had just cracked open. I didn't scream. I didn't call. I typed 2 words back, good luck, set the phone face down on the counter, and did the one thing Daniel never believed I was capable of. I opened my laptop. My name is Elena Marsh. I'm 39. For 6 years, I ran the business side of Marchetti's, the restaurant that made my husband's name in Charleston. Everyone knew Chef Daniel Marsh, the James Beard nomination, the glowing profiles, the impossible reservations. Almost no one knew that when the place nearly died in year 2, it was my inheritance that kept it breathing. $310,000 from my father's estate. Not a loan, a capital investment. My lawyer had structured it cleanly. 55% ownership for me, 45% for him. Daniel introduced himself as the owner everywhere. I let him. Marriage wasn't supposed to be about scorekeeping, I told myself. I was wrong about a lot that year. Priya had been my person since culinary school, splitting rent on a shitty studio, eating ramen over the sink, dreaming out loud at 2 a.m. I hired her as marketing director 2 years ago because I trusted her with my life. She grew our Instagram from a ghost account to 80,000 followers. She sat at my kitchen table every Sunday. She remembered the anniversary of my father's death without reminders, because she'd helped me while I cried about it 3 years earlier. When Daniel started working late on menu photography with her, I believed them. I had built my entire adult life on believing the people who had earned it. I stared at that balcony photo until I screen dimmed. Not just from heartbreak, from recognition. I knew the Eden Rock. I'd booked corporate retreats there. Rooms started at $640 a night. Daniel's personal checking account had maybe $1,100 in it 2 days earlier. Numbers don't lie the way people do. And numbers were the one thing I had never been able to walk away from. At 12:40 a.m., I logged into our shared banking portal. 3 days earlier, $9,800 had left the Marchetti's operating account under vendor consulting fee. No such vendor existed. My pulse didn't race. It slowed. That calm scared me more than rage would have, because I've learned what I'm willing to do when I go completely quiet. I called Miriam, our accountant of 11 years, not a lawyer, not my mother. Every transaction from the operating account, last 4 months. Tonight if you can. She didn't ask questions. She knew my voice. By 2:15 a.m., she'd sent over 11 unauthorized transfers totaling $41,000, all routed through a vendor account under Sonia Anand Priya's mother's maiden name. The first one, 4 months ago, carried a memo. Relocation new lease deposit, Wynwood. He hadn't just been planning an affair. He'd been planning an entirely new life. Paid for with money I had pulled this restaurant back from the grave with. I didn't sleep. At 6 a.m., I called Marisol Vega, the attorney who'd drawn up our original partnership agreement. She answered groggy, then sharp the moment I said the number. "Send me everything," she said, "and don't touch a damn thing until I call you back." 2 hours later, she called with 4 words that straightened my spine. "Elena, we own this." Section 9.4 had always been there, an abandonment clause Daniel had skimmed and signed because he never imagined it could apply to him. If a managing partner stepped away from operations for more than 72 hours without written notice to the majority stakeholder, the majority could assume full control immediately. No vote. No negotiation. He had left Thursday evening. It was now Saturday morning. The clock was still running. I spent the day moving pieces I had quietly kept in place for years. I walked into Marchetti's at 9 a.m. and told the staff there had been a change in management. I called the post company and had Daniel's access revoked. I called the bank with the agreement attached and removed his signing authority. I called our trademark attorney because Marchetti's had lived under my holding company from day one, another detail he had never bothered to question. At 3:47 p.m., just past the 72-hour mark, Marisol filed a formal notice. By 4:00, his bio was gone from the website. By 4:15, his photo was off the wall. Tomas, our head server, taped butcher paper over the empty frame without being asked. No drama, just the quiet, irreversible sound of a door closing. He called 9 times before his flight landed Sunday night. I let 8 go to voicemail. On the 9th, I picked up. "You can't lock me out of my own restaurant," he said, voice cracking between fury and disbelief. "You walked out of it," I answered. "I just made it official. I built that kitchen, Elena, and I kept it alive when it was bleeding out. You signed the papers, Daniel. You never read them." Monday morning, he showed up in a chef's coat like the last 4 days had been a misunderstanding. Our new general manager, a promotion I'd made official over the weekend, met him at the door with Marisol on speaker. No yelling. No scene. Just a calm trespass warning and a formal demand letter for the $41,000 already in the mail. 30 days to repay, or we'd see him in court. Priya lost admin access to the business Instagram that same afternoon. The brand deals she'd lined up under our name started quietly canceling once the ownership update hit public record. A week later, a regular customer sent me a screenshot. Priya in a local marketers group chat, softly asking if anyone had freelance work. The chat stayed silent. In this city, everyone talks. Daniel ended up cooking on a food truck 2 counties away, the kind of gig he used to mock in interviews. I didn't post about it. I didn't gloat. I kept Marchetti's open 6 nights a week, the sign glowing above the door exactly as it had been filed since the beginning in my name. 6 months later, a reporter asked what happened to my former business partner. I told her the truth. Simply, he decided he didn't want to be part of this anymore. So I made sure he wasn't. He thought those 2 words meant surrender. He never understood that I had been building, quietly and carefully, for 6 years long before he ever said goodbye.